Hey friends, psychic medium Josh Simons coming to everybody here with a quick message, if you will. So, I haven't made a video in a while just because most of the stuff that I'm called to speak about, I'm putting on my Facebook page in the morning. I'm waking up early in the morning, typing whatever I feel like I need to type, and sharing it with the world. So, if you're on there and you're following along, thank you so much for that. Today I got the nudge to make a little video, and this little video I think is just meant to help us have a little bit of fun. So when it comes to personal development, spiritual development, it can be very heavy, right? Lots of stuff in life can be very heavy for us, way heavy for us, especially right now. We're all dealing with a lot. We're all actually in the middle of February, and if cabin fever or spring fever is setting in, right now is when it's doing it. And I know I can speak personally to that. So I want to share a little bit of fun with everybody because when it comes to, like I said, spiritual personal development, we should be having as much fun as possible, right? We should be trying to stay as lighthearted. And I think that's why humor is given to us as a tool, right? Why we have humor, the ability to laugh at things, to see things as funny, because it's great for our mental health. So what I want to do is I want to share with you a new deck of tarot cards that my husband got me for Christmas. I'll show you the back of them. It's called Mystical Medleys, right? And I love tarot, I love runes, I love all that stuff. And this is a wonderful little deck because it is so lighthearted. It's a lot of fun. It's very lighthearted and very fun. And I think that's important for us to keep in mind, to remember how important it is to be lighthearted when it comes to all of this stuff, to life in general, right? We should try to laugh through the storm as best we can. So what I want to do is I just want to shuffle this deck 3 times, and I want to pull 3 cards, and we're going to have a little bit of fun here. And as I do this, I just want to point out that these messages may indeed be for you, okay? If you're watching this and I'm called to do this, these messages might very well be for you. So there we go. One more shuffle here. Just with the intention of, hey, give me 3 cards that people should hear right now. Okay, now I can see why. All right, here we go. So the first card that we got is the Emperor. All right. So the Emperor in tarot, I'll show him to you. You know, he's the boss, right? Kind of makes things happen. Very assertive. And this kind of relationship that we have with the Emperor lives inside of all of us, whether you're male or female, right? In tarot, we have both the Empress and the Emperor. And the Emperor, kind of stuffy a little bit, but he's very much all about routine and structure and, you know, imagine being the emperor of a kingdom. You'd have to be kind of rigid, if you will. But look at the grin on his face, right? Look at the grin on his face. Very much all about the attitude of Gomez Addams. Gomez Addams is one of my role models, as much as a fictional character can be our role model. Gomez has fun. Gomez takes care of his kingdom, yes, absolutely. But Gomez has fun. It's fun. It's fun. So that encourages you, I believe, to be a little bit more assertive in your life. And this is a message that I get often for folks. We often hear that term passive aggressive. So I think it's just been driven into us so much that a lot of us want to be passive, so we're not aggressive. And the opposite of passive, it's not aggressive to me. The opposite of passive is assertive. Doing that which you want in this world, so long as what you're doing isn't hurting or bringing imbalance or pain to the lives of others. It's very important to me, right? To create the life that we want to live before our life is created for us. All right. The next card. Probably the funniest card to me in the whole of tarot. The 4 of Cups. All right. Now I'm going to be mindful when it comes to this. When the 4 of Cups comes up, and I pull tarot cards every day for me to get the insight and the benefit that they offer. When the 4 of Cups comes up, this is very much a card that reminds me personally not to be a 4 of Cups bitch. I say that, right? But this is all about being despondent, a little bit depressed, a little bit, about not really being focused on the gifts that are being given to you. So with this card, we're always going to see this person at the base of a tree, upset at these cups because they're empty or they're just not what they wanted. And yet, Spirit passing around the corner, hey, here's a gift, right? So again, this is an opportunity for us to look at what, and all of the situations that we face, whether they're individual or collective experiences, what isn't being taken from us, but what's being given to us, right? That when we go through traumatic experiences, that when we go through things like COVID-19, right? We can all focus on what's been taken from us and not what's been given. You know, we see a lot of people working from home. We see a lot of companies moving in that direction, right? Of, okay, we don't need people to come in every day. They're just as productive at home. They're happier at home. That means their productivity is going up. So as much as COVID has taken from us, it's also given us some things. And that's a good lesson, right? So it's kind of like looking on the bright side a little bit, but more specific around the things in our life that would make us go. Because we all do that. We all get that way. I do, you do, everybody does. We all get. So this is all about being 4 cups bitch. Try not to be one. Try not to be one. And to further move into that point, you know, I recently sat with somebody who was dealing with a lot of stuff, all the time, a lot of stuff, and I encourage that person to use the sandwich method. And the sandwich method to me is whenever we focus on something that is bad, we should focus on 2 things, right? This is a method they use to give feedback to folks where it's like, hey, if I have to give you negative feedback, I'm going to try to sandwich it between 2 pieces of positive feedback. Whenever we're dealing with something negative in our life, we should try to sandwich it between 2 positives as much as we can, so that overarching, overwhelming narrative inside of us doesn't become that. Okay. Then we have the 2 of Swords finally. Look at that cute little card. Look at that cute little card. So the 2 of Swords talks about a person who doesn't know their own strength, right? That's my relationship with this card. They're blindfolded. They don't realize that they're holding up 2 very heavy swords. This is a card about choices, right? But you also have to put a sword down to take that blindfold off, and you have to pick which sword that you're carrying. I love it when the moon presents itself in any of tarot, because the moon card to me is all about being under the influence, right? We're under the influence, like a werewolf is under the influence. It's very important. So if you have a choice in your life, the best way for you to figure out what to do with it is to adopt what I call a witness state. A witness state is coming up out of your story, up out of your own subjective first person perspective, and trying to see it from an objective third person perspective. And it's something that I encourage so many people to do, right? Think about the big problems that you have in your life. Think about the biggest problem that you have in your life. If you had a daughter or a son or a loved one, a cousin, a best friend, somebody who had that problem, what's the advice that you would give that person? That's your guiding light right there. That's how you take your blindfold off. We always should be doing what for ourselves, what we would have other people do for themselves. And why is this so important? Because in our life, we can only be committed to peace or suffering. We can't be committed to the both of them, right? So if we're committed to our peace, that's wonderful. If we're committed to our suffering, what we don't realize is that we're committed to the suffering of those who love us, both living and in spirit. Absolutely. We always want our loved ones in spirit to rest in peace. That means we must live in peace, because they can feel us, they can sense us, they're very active in our life. So, if you have something that's causing you suffering in this world, and you can control it, because or manipulate it, maneuver it, influence it in any way, because there's things in our life that we can't control, that we just have to live with, right? But if you can take an active role in it, then do so. Please. Reduce your suffering. If you reduce your suffering, you reduce the suffering of those who love you, living and dead. The best act of love. The greatest act of love we can give those that we love is to reduce our suffering, to take care of ourselves. So, go have some fun. Go have some fun. Look at these cards. The Nine of Cups, right? It's so important for us to lean into childlike joy. Speaking of the moon, we have that werewolf under the influence of the moon, right? Always so important for us to lean into childlike joy. Not childish, right? We should be childlike, not childish. Those things are different. But we have to focus on joy. We very much do, because we're so bombarded by with everything that would make us not feel it. So, rambled enough. We have this at Deep Earth Arts, this deck right here, or you can order it online, like most everybody's probably going to. But yeah. Oh, also, February 26th at 3 p.m. at the Littleton Opera House, I'll be doing a benefit gallery reading for Maddie, Andrew, and Odin Pond. You can find tickets on my website at joshsimons.com. I'd appreciate it if you could make it. It's going to be a blast. We're going to have a lot of fun. A lot of fun, right? When we do this stuff, we got to be fun-filled. So thank you again for tuning in. I hope everybody's well out there, and I hope you can go and find some of that vitamin joy. Go find some joy so you're not a 4 cups bitch. Bye.